Jesus. Phone dirty as hell. Check. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me or not. I'm going to give the room just a little bit of time to get some people on here. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hey, Jeff, can you hear me? Okay. Well, we had 3 people. Now we have 1. You. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes and let everybody get in here, hopefully. Now we got a few. All right. All right, I'm going to give it just a few minutes to let everybody get in here. It seems like we got kind of a lag in the room, but, or at least me talking and then you guys responding. There's quite a bit of lag on here, but so anyway, just give it a couple minutes and let some people get into the room, and then we'll start. Drink. Get this up here because my blind ass can't read this phone. And apparently I got to keep touching the phone to get the comments to come up. Thank you, Toby. Yeah, my wife got me those for Christmas. They are, it's huge. It's like, I don't know, probably 8 foot wide by, I think, 12 foot long on those lights. But yeah, they really make the paint pop on the bikes. Helps with the videos too, because I used to have to drag these things around. Let me see these video lights. I used to have to, I got 3 of those, and usually I got to drag those around when I'm shooting a video and put them behind the camera so you can see kind of what's going on. And those lights have eliminated me having to do that a little bit. On the other side of the bike, back by the toolbox, it's really narrow for me to work in there. And a lot of times if I'm down doing something on the wheel or in the engine area, it's my camera it's too dark, so I have to add some lights. But yeah, they're pretty awesome. Not in Daytona this year, no. They scheduled my surgery for my hand or my elbow and then canceled it right at the last minute, so we did not go. Hello from Holland. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming to hang out with us. So the last live that we did, at a request that, you know, we talk about some tools that I use. And honestly, I mean, I pulled out some tools on the table here today that I think that are the ones that I use like every time there's a bike on the lift. You know, and I get a lot of questions on this guy right here. I've had this is the Milwaukee M12 ratchet, and this gets pulled out on every single bike. As far as torque goes, I think this one probably for the money has the best torque on it. There's a video, there's actually a guy on YouTube, and I can't remember his channel right off the top of my head, but he that's all his channel is just comparing stuff, comparing tools. Hell, he does everything, vacuum cleaner, he does everything, but he did a side-by-side on like 8 or 9 of these, and Milwaukee came out on top as far as torque. But I think the snap-on version came out better overall. But as far as torque, this one had the best. And really, I mean, not torquing a whole ton of stuff on a motorcycle that needs to be torqued that damn hard. So any of them, you know, work. You need to get a torque wrench on them when you're done anyway. But as far as breaking stuff free, it works pretty good. So that's like probably that's like my A1 tool. I am in southern Illinois, so we're in Marion, outside of Marion. We're out in the country, about 5 miles outside of Marion. So it's all the way in BFE, bottom of Illinois. I hate that I have to keep tapping the screen to get messages to pop up here. I'm afraid I'm gonna miss somebody's comment. Because they just kind of show up on the phone and then disappear. As far as, oh, let me get it because it's actually around here. I was actually using it this morning, but to go along with that, Milwaukee tool, I have a master Torx bit set that I really enjoy. How many backup batteries? So this one I bought as a kit, and it comes with 2 of the Milwaukee batteries, but I also purchased 2 of the, you guys are hearing a buzz? So I've got it on this cordless mic, so that might be it. Let me know. I don't think we had a buzz last time I used this, but anyway, I bought 2 of the Amazon kind of knockoff batteries because these batteries were expensive a couple of years ago. Now the Milwaukee batteries are actually pretty cheap, so if I ever have to replace them, I'll probably just get the Milwaukee batteries, but I keep 4. How bad is the buzz? Because I don't know. If I take the microphone off, you guys are barely going to be able to hear me. Okay. Jeff says not too bad. Yeah, I apologize. I got my gains turned all the way down. I mean, everything is set up exactly the same as last time. Oh, I do have my ceiling fan going, so that might be it too. Okay. But as far as the batteries goes, those Milwaukee knockoff batteries I've had for a year and a half, and they had kind of mixed reviews on them. So, like, you know, a lot of people said they didn't last, and to me they last just as long as the Milwaukee ones do. They charge just as fast. Hey, it's good to see you, Mike. Thanks for joining us, man. But yeah, so I just keep 4 of those on hand, and if I'm working on a bike, I can go through a couple a day, you know, pretty easy. But as far as the companion to that is the Carbine Master Torque set. This is the one that I don't know if you guys saw the picture the other day where I dumped this thing all over the garage floor, because that was a good time. That, let me kind of turn it so you can see it, but that's the torque set that I currently am using. It has everything that you need inside of it. And actually, Jeff was gonna, we were looking at some on the Snap-on website, and they were just a tad bit out of my budget, so I went with this carbine kit and been happy with it so far. I haven't broken any, and I've used quite a few of these small ones, so that was the only thing I was worried about. I don't usually break the big ones, but the small ones, you know, they can break pretty easy. Before I got that, I used these, and these are just magnetic rails from Harbor Freight, and I would just buy the Torx and hex head kits and just put them on here. And I have two more rails like this that have the long ones on it too. And if you have a lift, these come in real handy just because they're magnetic and you can just slap them wherever, and you don't have to worry about knocking them off in the floor like I did that joker the other day. I mean, I was actually done with my job and I turned around and hit it, and because they don't snap in, they just set in the kit, so kind of sucks that they went flying everywhere. But you know, made a joke out of it. It's the best you can do. Laugh at it and go get down there on your hands and knees and pick all that shit up. So gas sticks, cosmetic versus genuine. So yeah, not really. I mean, yeah, 52 socket pickup for sure. We did that in the back of Jeff's truck in Sturgis too. I picked up my entire toolbox and it dumped all over the inside of the truck. So that was a good time. I'm pretty sure that I'm still missing one or two sockets from that day, but that was fun. Middle of the night. But as far as like gaskets and stuff, yeah, gaskets I usually buy OEM, just because they don't cost that much, and I make sure that you get the right ones and that they fit correctly and they're not all wrinkled up and crap when you get them. A Blue Point kit for my hex and stars, yeah, that's a nice kit too. Man, and this master kit from Carbine, this is on Amazon, and I've got a link down in the description of this video to a lot of this stuff, not all of it, but a lot of it. And this kit's actually from Amazon, and when I bought it, I actually posted it on the Sick Bagger page, and it sold out within like 2 days. And I don't know if that had a lot to do with guys on the Sick Bagger page buying it or whatever, but it sold out really quick. And then it is a little pricey, but you're getting a lot of tools. And like I said, I've used the piss out of them, and I'm really happy with them. Other than I wish that these snapped in or something a little better. I may end up taking the ones that I use the most off of and putting them on those rails over time, those magnetic rails. As far as other tools, actually, I got to get this. Let me snap that damn thing up before I throw that back in the floor again. What sizes? Well, I mean, on the touring models, really, you're going to find yourself grabbing about 4 different sizes. The 5/32 gets used a lot. Torx 25, 27, 20, those get used a lot. The Torx 40 gets used a ton, and the 1/4 inch and the 8 get used quite a bit. So those are the ones that you use most of. And the problem that I find with buying those small kits is a lot of them don't include, like, they skip sizes, and it's weird. Like, you can get like a 10-piece Torx set, and you'll get like 20, 27, it'll skip, or you won't get to 27 and you'll get a 20. They're just goofy. So buying a kit like this, make sure that you have everything. And I actually bought that kit to take to Sturgis because I had those rails and the kit. We did that when me and Monkey did that tin swap out there. I wanted all of my tools a little bit more concentrated, And so I bought that kit for that, and I just pull it out every single time I work on a bike at this point. Oh yeah, getting back to this right here. This is the, if you guys chase wires a lot, Jeff got me this, and that's been freaking amazing. It's the Power Probe 3 EZ, and for chasing wires, man, you can't beat this thing. I've used it several times. I mean, it took me a little bit, some YouTube videos and stuff to watch, until I figured out exactly. And I honestly haven't even touched on what this thing can do. But just for me, chasing wires, you can just touch it, like you can touch grounds and see that if you got a ground break somewhere. It's just for doing the lighting, with Advan Black and testing lighting and testing wire harnesses and all that, it's came in extremely handy. Once again, a little bit pricey on that one, but it's a badass tool. And so Jeff's a mechanic, and if he uses it, then you know I'm going to use it. It works, so that's pretty cool. What other kind of shit I got out here? These Torx bit sets, once again, the Torx bit sets like this is 3-pack. You can get these on Amazon. They got ball ends on them, which is nice for getting in at a little bit of an angle so you can see all 3 of them have ball ends. Bought this set actually for my kit, for my road kit, for like the tool pack that we keep on the bike. And I liked them so much that when we're not riding, I snatch them out of the toolkit on the bike and I use them. So that's another, those are easy on Amazon too. As much as I freaking hate these things, don't go the cheap way and buy a set of Harbor Freight little C-clip pliers to get those little rings off, like underneath your perch. You've got one there, and you know, when you stick it in and you pry it and it shoots across the room. So just make sure you pick up a box of the clips, because they do go shooting across the room all the time. But I did the cheaped out way, bought like the Harbor Freight shit, and they're junk. And I finally broke down and bought a set of channel locks. I think I just had a stroke. A set of channel locks brand that you can actually change out the needles or the pins on, and these have been great. So that's just another kind of specialty tool you might want to pick up if you're wrenching on your bikes. These guys right here, these I actually found, I think I found these at Menards of all places. But so it's a combination. I pick these out of the toolbox all the time because I have metric and standard, and it's 4 of the most common, or 8 of the most common sizes that you'll find on a bike, and they're just ratchet wrenches. I use these a lot. So you got a 5/16 and a 7/16 on one side, you flip it over and you got a 3/8 and a ½ inch on the other. So there's 4 wrenches right there, and just a little thing to go, you know, forward and reverse. And same with these bigger ones. Here's one that's got 9/16, 11/16, 5/8, and 3/4. So once again, 4 wrenches right there. So I don't have a bunch of wrenches sprawled out all over my work area. So these come in really handy. One of these little Klein tools like this for your little 1/4 inch, like Allens or Torx and hex for little tight spaces getting in there. This comes in handy. Get you one of those. Well, we talked a lot. I've got a couple of oil change videos, and I try to go over the stuff that I use for oil changes in those videos. But I mean, just basic stuff. Getting the clutch inspection cover funnel. I mean, these things are cheap. Don't buy the Harley one. I'm a dumbass. This is a Harley one. don't just get on Amazon and buy it. It's like $3. You can actually buy the whole kit with this and a funnel and, you know, I don't know, some other goofy funnel for the oil filter that usually don't work. But they're like $11 or something. That's I use that stuff quite a bit. And of course a graduated cylinder. Let me just turn the main camera over here. Picked these up at freaking Walmart, man, but I use these a lot because they're marked for doing fork fluid changes, oil filter, oil, whatever. I'm going to cover that stuff when we do the toolbox thing. This is something kind of cool. It's kind of novelty, but I picked this up on Amazon. It's a pack of 3 10mm sockets with freaking glow in the dark shit on them. And you buy this little $3 blue light and shit glows. So if you've ever lost your 10mm, it's a good way to find it. And there's 3-pack of them. So like I said, kind of novelty, but I end up grabbing them all the time. That's pretty cheap on Amazon. This is a Tecton ratchet, just a swivel head ratchet, because there's a lot of places on these bikes where you can get an extension on there and just you know, get it off really quick. Not something you have to have, but I find myself using this quite a bit. So yeah, so I've got 3 different magnets on a stick. I didn't even grab one out here, but I have 3 different ones. I have a small one. I have a pretty good size one with a magnet on it. Like, the magnet's a lot stronger on that one, but it's got a pretty big head on it. So, you know, depending on where you drop the bolt, you might not be able to get it in there. And then I also have one that's a magnet with a light on the end of it, which is it's really big. I don't use that one very often. I thought it'd be cool, but it really, honestly, if you're fishing for something, you can't see it anyway, so the light's really not doing you any good. I've got one up there with a light on it, and I very rarely ever use that magnet. These little plastic pry tool things, pick them up, Harbor Freight, Amazon, whatever. It's like a little dash kit. I use these all the time underneath the fairings for popping those Christmas tree things, like wire holders. Just get in there and pop them off. And then I've got one that's metal, so it's a little bit more serious. If like you got like a big wire harness that needs to be popped off, these work great. The plastic ones usually do the trick, but you can see the size difference. So if it's a tight situation, I get this one. So that's awesome, Michael. That's what we're here for, man. Get everybody confident working on their bikes. You know, especially with the basic stuff that we do, you can save yourself a ton of money by doing just your oil changes, brakes, all that stuff at home. So that's definitely what we're here for. Oil filters, if we want to go back kind of to the oil filter or the oil change stuff real quick, when you buy your oil filter wrench, make sure you get one with that hole in it. I know that there's a lot of people that'll, you know, like, oh, this is it's a 76 and it's a 14 tooth, and you'll go to Walmart or wherever and buy a 76 14 tooth, and it's not cut out like that, and you can't get it on the oil filter. So you got stuff up in there that gets in the way of getting this slid on. You usually get it on. The problem is when the oil filter is coming out and you're trying to pull it out, this gets caught and you end up dumping a crap ton of oil everywhere. So if you just get one of these, Amazon, once again, save yourself a big headache. Fork seal drivers, 49mm if you've got a 14 and up. We've done a few sets of forks where we've kind of used like vacuum hose, like extensions, pounding the fork seal in. It works. I don't recommend it, but it works. This is a 49mm. They got 39mm on there too. We got one of those over there for the older bikes. Oh yeah, I did bring one of my magnet sticks over. So yeah, there's one of them. we get into some of the stuff. If you're doing like bike audio, I don't know if you guys want to know about any of that stuff, but I do have some like kind of special tools that I use for bike audio. These guys here for snapping the rings off of headers. So you've got your little ring up there on the top. These come in handy. They're like $5 on Amazon, or I think Harbor Freight, one or two. They're super cheap, but if you're changing exhaust a lot, get you a set of these, or headers I should say, not slip-ons, but if you're changing headers a lot, get those. T-handle, using that for use this for the tops of forks, the fork cap up there, so it's easy to get a lot of hand on it, because that thing's under pressure with that spring, and you can hold that, get that off, let that pop up, versus having just a ratchet in your hand, or you know, it pops up like that. So a little cheap T-handle, but that's pretty much all I use that for, is for fork ends. I had a question. I don't know if I can get it to pop back up or not. Here we go. What kind of tool I need to adjust the passing lamps? Do the color interfering swap in your videos? Claw pickup tool. Routing plumbing wires. Yeah, that'd be cool. So adjusting your passing lamps, I don't know if there's any specific tool that you need to adjust the passing lamps. Are they pointing at the ground, or you need those are pretty well usually like a solid mount. I don't know if there's anything you can do to adjust those. You have to let me know what kind of bike and stuff that's on. These for the Milwaukee 8, when shit gets real, when the oil filter wrench slips, and it will. Talked to one of the techs at Harley Davidson, because I was getting a lot of Milwaukee 8 bikes coming in here. Even on the video that I made for the Milwaukee 8 oil change, I'm getting a lot of Milwaukee 8s that come in that the oil filter feels like it was put on with a jackhammer. And this guy would just eventually just slip. And so then you revert to trying to get in there with these, and I've even so much as had to drop the oil cooler down and beat one off with a chisel and a hammer. It was so tight. And every time I asked them where you got your oil change last, and it was always Harley Davidson, and you know, they swear to God that they don't put them on that tight. The Milwaukee 8s, from what I was told from the tech up there, said that they actually get tighter the longer you ride them. He said, yeah, they've got, I don't know. I don't know how that would happen, but that's what they tell me. So I don't know. I see a lot of Milwaukee 8s coming here. I know that they're not all tightening them on there that tight. So something's going on that's making them tighter as you go. Yeah, Doc Harley's got some great videos. Yeah, if he's got one on adjusting them, then yeah, check that out. I've never really messed with them. Yeah, I've got some on the Cholo build over there, but they're just a solid mount. I'm looking at it, and I don't know that there's any way that I could really adjust that. Yeah, so when you're putting the oil filter on, man, you know, it's just like doing your car, just a little bit of oil on the ring, hand tight. That's it. The service manual actually says when that rubber hits the motor, half a turn. That's it. So, and I know those guys at Harley, they're not all cranking them on there that tight. So something's definitely going, and it's only the Milwaukee 8s. You know, the twin cams don't do it, but for some reason I get those Milwaukee 8s in here and they are jammed. They're on there. I don't know what else. I mean, like a lot of this other stuff, is just kind of electrical tools that I use. A good set of wire cutters. We do use these little, what they call like weather packs or whatever for doing like saddlebags and stuff. Saddlebag speakers, I should say. These little weather packs, and they got these little pins in them. And like I've had these on my Street Glide for 7 years and went through like 4 different sets of bags. So if you buy the proper tool and the little screwdriver to, you know, take the pins out so you can reuse them, I think this is like 25 bucks. But like I said, man, I've had that one set for Jesus, probably 6 years. I don't know, deburring tools. I do want, let me get it real quick, because I do want to address this. I think it's hopefully in my tour pack. Of course not. Yep, this. So, right before Sturgis, we did a toolkit, like a bag, like a bag of tools to put on your motorcycle, right? And this is the bag that we built, and this is just a tactical bag, molly bag, if any of you guys are into that stuff. But it's just a basic 1000D nylon molly bag, and we put all of the tools in it that we thought we would need if we were out on the road, because if you get out there in Sturgis and you're out in the middle of freaking nowhere, anything can happen. And I'm going to tell you, and Jeff can account for this, I work on my bikes almost every day. I had everything on my bike as good as it was going to get when we left for Sturgis. And I had this bag out, had this bag out on my bike like 5 times. Just stupid little shit that happened. And I was so thankful to have those tools. It happened a couple of times were my fault, not gonna lie. A couple of times it was just goofy little stuff that happened. But I was really glad to have all of these tools with me. And the only thing that I didn't address in the how to make a tool bag for your motorcycle was tires. So at the time, I mean, I do have a tire plugging kit, of course. And I forgot to even mention it in that video, and I got called out on it quite a bit. What are you gonna do if you have a flat? Well, I do have a tire plug kit, but I didn't have anything in there as far as like, okay, I got it plugged, but now what? I don't have any air. I have no way to put air. So everybody was suggesting CO2 cartridges and all that stuff, and that's fine. But I did find this on Amazon, and I'll put the link. I don't think I put the link in the description yet, but I will. But this is a pretty small battery operated air compressor, and we used it when we got the Road Glide back up on the lift the other day from the winter. It just sitting there, and we got it all charged up. And this is how big it is. Not very big. So if you have a touring model bike, you know, this is, plus you can charge your phones and stuff on it too. So it is an external battery. It's made by Lexan. If we fire it up on the front here, it even has, like, you can go through the modes on this by hitting this U and this. So we go up here and we have a car. Go down, you have a bicycle. Go down, you have a motorcycle. So it has different settings on it, you know, so you don't overinflate or whatever. But this thing is pretty cool, and I plan on putting that. Now, it won't fit in my tool pack, but I'll put it on the bike somewhere when we go to Sturgis this year, because God knows I did have an issue with a tire, my front fat tire out in Sturgis, but it didn't have anything to do with the fat tire kit. It was a bad tire, so wasn't anything I could do with that other than pay a crap ton of money and have it changed. But that's just one thing I wanted to address on building a toolkit. But I do have that video if you guys want to check it out if you haven't already. It's got all this stuff that we have in there. Talks about how cheap you can build it and where to get the stuff to build it super cheap. And then also read the comments in that video too, because there was a lot of people that had a lot of good suggestions, stuff that I didn't really think about, you know, putting in there. But once again, that's a pretty good sized bag, and I have it packed. So you gotta, at some point, you gotta start making decisions. You know, is this tool more important than this tool? You know, that kind of deal, because you can only pack so much in there. So you'll have to watch that. Other tools. I mean, I don't. Deburring tool if you're cutting plastic a lot. I keep this in the bag so I don't lose it, and also it has a pack of tips on it too. Yeah, that bag, that tactical bag's actually on Amazon. So, and I do have a link to that in the bottom in the description of this live. So you'll see some of the tools that we're talking about, and then you'll see the actual street pack or road pack's what I call it. And then below that road pack, most of the stuff in here is on there that I had to buy to make it, which isn't a lot, because like most of us have extra tools laying around anyway. So, but if you have to buy wrenches and stuff like that, hit your pawn shop up, man. Seriously, like I go there, you know, once every 2 or 3 months and buy every 10 millimeter that they have. They sell them by the pound. So, you know, wrenches are the same way. Ours do. There's like 3 pawn shops around here, and they all sell them by the pound. So I take up sockets, wrenches, whatever I need, and they just weigh it, and that's what you pay. So you save yourself a butt ton of money buying whole wrench sets, or even just one wrench at the hardware store. So that's definitely the way to get some backup tools. And actually, I talked about building a separate one just to keep in your vehicle too. So yeah, flea markets. Yeah, if you can hit up flea markets and find that stuff, definitely. You know, there's no sense in buying expensive tools to keep on a road kit. You know, a lot of times it's dark out there. You're on the side of the road. You might leave a tool. Hell, you might even want to give a tool to somebody else that's broke down. You're out $2, but you help somebody get back on the road. You don't have time to stick around and help them work on it, but you can give them a couple wrenches and hit the road. So you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to fill up your road kit with a bunch of expensive tools. So we keep it as cheap as we can, but you know, still reliable tools. Just they're designed for a quick fix, not a permanent fix, just to get you off the road. I don't really have too much other stuff, man. It's just like really specific to motorcycles. I mean, that's the stuff that we use all the time, and just like cosmetic stuff, you know, doing what we do here on the channel. It's a lot of it's the Milwaukee wrench and the master torque set, and then this stupid ass thing right here that you hope to never ever ever have to get out, and it's just a tap and die set. Yeah, Jeff, extra airline for fittings and air ride. Yeah. So if you do have, let me put it this way, if you have your air ride installed at like a rally, a lot of guys do, and I would half-ass caution about doing that, but there are a few companies that do a really good job at rallies, but most of them are quick, and I've seen some really janky work come out of rallies. But anyway, if you have your stuff, or maybe you had somebody else put it on, if there's any extra airline left over, which there usually always is, wrap that stuff up and put it in a saddlebag. You never know when you're going to pinch a line. It happened to me. And my air ride had been on my bike for a long time, and I had done some adjustment on the wiring for my saddlebags. And when I zip tied the wiring, somehow I caught that airline in the backside of my zip tie, and it pulled it up. And the first time I rode the bike, I let air out, and it came down and pinched, just cut the line. And luckily it was close to a T, and I had about an 8-inch piece laying in the tour pack, so I fixed it real quick. But airlines and those push to connect fittings, if you can get your hands on them, definitely throw some of those in in the tour pack. Let's see if I can get comments to come up again. There we go. For jack, let me see, I'm gonna cover that jack one, but let me scroll back because I keep feeling like I keep missing comments because these just go away. Hey Fab, thanks for checking us out, man. If you're still on here, I appreciate you, brother. Old strap filter wrenches. Yeah, so old strap filter wrench, like this thing here. Yeah, so use that quite a bit. I actually use that old strap wrench like that more on removing slip-ons when they're stuck. Yeah, small rechargeable air compressor. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. I think for the size of that small Lexan air compressor, I think it's going to be great versus carrying around some CO2 cartridges. For the jack, so yeah, I want to talk about the jack. So I do have one of those gray Harbor Freight ones over there, and that thing is last ditch. I absolutely have to have it at that moment to actually pull that thing out. There's so many cobwebs on that thing. On these touring model bikes now, with the soft tails and stuff like that, I don't mind jacking them up, but I still strap them down. Now I have a Craftsman over there, Craftsman motorcycle jack that is built like a tank, and I don't even, like touring model bikes, I will jack that thing up and spin it around in here all day long. I'll kick it with my foot and spin it. That's how sturdy that thing is. That Craftsman one, I got to put, or the Harbor Freight one, you got to put the big T handle on it and you move it and the whole bike just starts, I'm like, scares the shit out of me. So I do not use that unless I absolutely have to. Now I don't know about the Harbor Freight, the blue one that they have, it's kind of goofy. Look, I don't know. It's different than just your normal motorcycle jack, but I see a lot of guys on YouTube using it. And I'm assuming if you're just working on the bike and you're not moving it around too much, it'd be okay. But I would not spend the money on that gray motorcycle jack. It's not for a touring model. So the Craftsman one, and I don't even know if they make that Craftsman one anymore, but you need to find a reputable company if you're going to buy a motorcycle jack. I do not recommend that Harbor Freight one at all. And I'll tell you what I did. A long time ago, I bought the Harbor Freight lift, the hydraulic lift that they had, a foot pump hydraulic thing. I got it on sale, joined up for their club, got another 10% off, whatever, saved a bunch of money on it. Got it home, unboxed it, put it all together, built these little boxes for the sides so I could have a place for my feet when I rolled up on it. Rolled my Street Glide up on it, jacked it up, let it down, pulled my Street Glide off, took a picture of it, and put it on Facebook Marketplace. That exact same day. I mean, within 2 hours. Absolute garbage. I see a lot of guys use them, and a lot of guys swear by them. And if that's all you have, great. Just be super careful because it's just like that motorcycle jack. You start tugging on something, and I could feel that bike, that lift tilting. I mean, if that's all you got, great, use it, but just be super careful and strap your bike down. Definitely strap your bike down. Yeah, so John says he's got the blue one from Harbor Freight. Now, like I said, I haven't used that, but that thing, I mean, I've grabbed it at Harbor Freight and kind of moved it around and stuff, and it seems like it's way more sturdier than that shitty gray one. And I'm telling you guys, I jacked that up with a touring model, and that bike just like it's on an ocean, just like it's sitting on jelly. And I don't trust that a bit. If I got to pull a front wheel or a rear wheel, that bike's going to flip right off there. Like I said, I'll use it in a pinch, but that's it. So yeah, that blue and silver one I think is probably built a lot better. Ah, LEDs and bags. What's up, Eddie? Yeah, see, if you guys are in Daytona, make sure to stop by there. I don't know that if I was in Daytona, I'd be watching anybody's live right now. But if you are, maybe it's just crappy weather because that's how Daytona is. If you are watching it, man, just make sure to stop by the Advan Black booth that Eddie's set up there for us. And his dad's there. Awesome, good people. Make sure you stop by and see him. By the way, Eddie, that cost $1 million for that shout out during one of my live streams. Just so you know, I'm gonna need that checked, homie. Um, wheel chocks, wheel chocks in a trailer. So like right now, my trailer has a wheel chalk in it, and the problem, and it's coming out because now I have a biker bar, but it's actually installed in Jeff's toy hauler. So biker bar, by all means, the absolute best thing you can buy if you're going to be trailering your motorcycle. Checks in the mail. All right, brother. Appreciate it. The biker bar, and I've been using the biker bar for a couple of years, but like Jeff got one for his bike when we went to Sturgis. I think it was Sturgis or Daytona. I can't remember. One of the times that we went, and he was exactly like I was when I first installed it, because the biker bar, you just attach it to the bike, you bolt it to the trailer, you drive in, it locks in, and that's it. No straps, no nothing. And I was like, there is no freaking way. I didn't take my eyes off of my trailer camera for the first 4 hours, and that thing never moved. So biker bar, definitely, if you can afford it, they are a little bit, they're well, quite a bit pricier than the wheel chalk. But wheel chocks, the Condor is a good one. Well, the Condor is probably one of the best ones, and they make one for a fat tire kit too. And the problem that I have with mine is once I went to a 21 and I went to a wrap fender, the wrap fender, the piece that flips up that kind of locks the bike in, you have to flip that around backwards and put the short side on the back, or it's going to come up and smack your fender. A lot of guys don't know that, and I've had a lot of guys call and order a new fender because they did that. They didn't think about it. They rolled up in there and that thing popped up to lock that wheel in and smash their painted fender. So be careful with those. Flip it around backwards if you have to, and put the short end on the back side if you got a wrap fender. But hell, even the one from, I mean, it's still wheel chalk, man. You know, like even the one, I've seen the one from Harbor Freight on people's trailers, and it worked fine too. The wheel chalk's really only doing half the work, you know what I mean? Like, you still have to strap that thing down good, and so. The biker bar is, I don't know what you mean by universal, but so there's certain ones for certain bikes because of the height that the frame sets off of the ground. So you do have to kind of look for your bike. And yes, absolutely has to be bolted to a solid floor. And if you're doing it in like a box trailer and maybe you don't have a heavy enough wood in the floor, try to hit one of the frame rails when you drill. Get those bolts into a rail. And I know like mine is a pain in the butt because my frame rails are L-shaped and the L bracket is smaller than the nut, if that makes any sense. Or yeah, the L bracket's smaller than the nut. So when I put the bolt in to get the nut on, it's hitting this back side of the L bracket coming in this way. So it's a pain to get it on there. But yeah, as far, you do have to, no, you take it off. So the part that attaches to your bike is really long and it sticks out, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 inches out of both sides of the bike. And it clamps to the frame, so you slide it up under, you hook this side, and then you hook this side, and you tighten it down, and it squeezes to the frame. And then you got these poles that stick out. And the other part is on the floor, and you drive through the middle of it, and it's got hooks on the outside edge that those bars go in and grab. So once you ride in and you hear it click, It'll stop you, and that is it. You get off your bike. You can reach down there and give it a little extra little torque if you want to, but once that on the tightening side handle, it has a big split washer on it. So once that split washer is flat, it's tight. Don't keep tightening it after that, because you're just going to end up warping your frame. Because you can put some ass on it and really tighten it down, but it doesn't need to be. Watch that flat washer, and when it's flat, stop. But once you get to your destination, you use the heel of your foot and you unclip those clamps, and then you just roll the bike backwards and it unhooks from the trailer. Roll it out and crawl under it and just undo the thing. Take the biker bar back off and just throw it in your trailer till you get ready to leave. So, but I'm gonna tell you, it is a little tricky to get off with your heel, because it's actually like a double lock system. So when you're doing the heel, it's got like two pieces that hang down like this. So you have to get your heel on both of them. You got to click this one and this one to get that to unlock. And sometimes it is kind of a pain to get them to both do it. And you're just using the heel of your foot. And so you may have to reach down and kind of rock the bike a little bit and hit it with your hand and try to undo it. But it's definitely not going anywhere. It's a solid deal. That thing ain't going anywhere. No straps, no nothing. Just lock it in and go. When I first got mine, like I said, I was so freaking hesitant to. My buddy had one, and he was just like, "Don't worry about it, man. Quit looking at the cameras." And I'm like, "Hell no!" I stared at those cameras for 4 hours, but once I realized that how good they were, I just shut the camera off. I ain't worried about that bike. It ain't going anywhere. See if I missed any. Yeah, the biker bar will work on an open trailer. It just depends on what kind of floor you have. You know, I see a lot of the open trailers that have like a graded floor. You have to remember that one plate bolts to the floor of the trailer, so you may have to do a little rigging there. You don't want, you know what I mean, like by those like corrugated graded floors instead of wood. But as long as you got something solid to bolt that plate to, you're good. What's up, Sam? Thanks for joining us, buddy. But yeah, we wanted to do a live after we got back from Sturgis, and a lot of that stuff we were going to talk about. And one of the big things that I wanted to talk about was the toolkit, because it kind of became a joke. It happens, like so many things happened to the Road Glide while we were out there. It became a joke that I was so glad that I had the tool pack with me, and it was easy to just bust that thing out and fix what I needed to fix and back on the road, except for the bad tire thing. We had to pull the whole front tire off and take it out to Deadwood Customs and let them dry shove it in our, then pay a lot for a new tire. But what are you gonna do? You're in the middle of nowhere and you need a tire, you're gonna pay it. When I say dry, it was dry. It was rough. So if you guys have any other questions, man, let me know. I don't really have too many other specific tools that, you know. Oh, the wiring tools, yeah. I can go over those. Well, I did go over kind of the one. Let me get some of them. Turn that shit. Oh yeah, these little guys right here, and I talk about these quite a bit when I'm doing wiring, especially if you suck at soldering stuff like I do. I've done a lot of them, but I'm terrible at it. But these little things right here, you pick these up on Amazon. Hey, we'll see you, Nick. Thanks for coming, man. These little things right here, they're little solder. You push the wires together. We'll slide this on first. Push the wires together. Take you a heat torch. I buy these. A lighter will work, but it's really slow, and you end up melting the plastic before you end up melting the solder. But if you just get one of these little things, it's refillable. I picked these up at like Menards or Home Depot or something. Use those to, it solders it, and then the blue melts and makes it a watertight connection. So super easy if you're doing a lot of wiring. I found those on Amazon one day and thought I'd try them, and now I buy, like I bought a 20 pack the first time. Now I buy like this whole huge ass thing of them. I use them a lot. Good set of wire strippers. I've got two different ones here. Jeff got me these. These are super cool. They've got the connector. They got the stripper in them here, and then your crimpers on the end, so you're not doing this deal to crimp them. You're crimped right on the end. And I have these little fast. These things are super fast for stripping tools, these style. Just put the wire, or if you're stripping wires, if you have to strip a whole bunch of wires, I should say. God damn, this thing had another stroke. But if you put the wire in there and just keep, I mean, I can rip off the ends of wires really quick with these. And I've had these for like, shit, I don't know, probably 12 years, and they're still pretty sharp. So definitely a good set of wire cutters. That's the tool for the ferrules. I didn't get any ferrules out, but I do use these. And you can see this is round on the end right here. And when you squeeze it, it squeezes the end. And then you just throw them in the floor like that when you're done with them. Just kidding. Let me get the ferrules. I'll show you what I use them for. Well, maybe. I'll get the big kit out. And I gotta get these drawers in order. Holy shit. Can't even find my big kit. Oh, there they are. Found them. So these little ferrule kits like this. Let me get these. Ah, damn, that's a long way down there. These little, for doing amps and stuff, that's what I use for the wires that go into the amp. So we have all different sizes of these. Put the wire in, make sure it goes into the metal. And where's my tool? Make sure it goes in the metal. You slide that in there like that, and it just clamps down and it squares it off like that. And get it to focus. And then you don't have a bunch of goofy wires. You slide that into the amp or wherever. I mean, you can use these on a lot of things. I just use them on the amps a lot. And that was no good. But, you know, make sure you get a different sizes, you know, for that. I've seen a couple questions. The lift is an A+ lift, and I've got a link to that down in the description. I'm going to touch on the lift just a little bit here. Pro Monkey's chopper. Yeah, I saw it the other day. Saw pictures of it last night, actually, on Facebook. Not the strap wrench you're talking about. Ending fits on a 3/8 ratchet, single pull tuck. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, so that chopper that he was doing is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to tease him when I talk to him, because I haven't actually got to watch any of the videos, but or I don't even know if he even did any videos on building it. It seemed like it got built pretty quick. I saw a video where he was going to do one, and then all of a sudden I saw that he had it in Daytona, and I was like, damn, that was pretty quick. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to call him and see what's going on with that and get updated on it, because I don't have the time to sit around and watch YouTube like I would like to. I don't get to watch a lot of the guys I'd like to watch. The lift, we'll go back on that lift just a minute. That's an A+ lift, 1,500 pound XL lift, so it's got the side tables on it. Super sturdy. I mean, I've just got an old air compressor that I run on it. It's a Coleman 7 or 8 gallon. I can't remember. It's not real big. Let me look. 21 gallon. Damn, I was way off. So just an average compressor, but it's just 21 gallon, and it'll kick on every now and again when I have to up and down it all day. But yeah, I usually just lift it up and pull the safety lock down, lock it into place, and then just unplug everything, because the only problem I've had with that lift is the foot control on it likes to leak. So if you put it in a neutral position, and I've rebuilt it already, I know, like, you can rebuild them. I rebuilt it, did the exact same thing. So I don't know what's going on with it. So I just pull the safety thing down, lock it, and then just unplug everything. But if you just set the thing in neutral, it'll actually just gradually kind of start bumping up on you. So you're working and you're like, shit, and the whole bike moves. So yeah, it's just a pain. Do you have any videos on changing rear brake rotor? Yeah, so I don't have it specifically on the rotor, but when I did the wheels on the Street Glide, I had to change the rotors. So if you watch the Street Glide DNA wheel video, you'll see where I changed the rotors on that. Super easy. Make sure that you don't use the same bolts. Rotor bolts are a one-time use bolt only. Once you torque those things down and ride on them, you can't take them out and reuse them. So just make sure you get a set. I mean, you can pick them up pretty cheap from Harley. Just tell them what you need, and they'll give you a bag of them. But they're just a stainless bolt. They're nothing fancy. The fat tire kit. Love the fat tire kit. Performance handling lost, absolutely zero. There's no loss. There's a gain in performance handling. I don't care. I don't give a shit who you've talked to, or I see it all the time in these forums. And these guys are like, oh, your ride's terrible. No, it doesn't. You've never rode one if you're saying that, I promise you. I don't have to sit here and try to justify the cost of what it cost me to put that on the bike to make myself feel better and tell you that it's the best thing ever because I already spent the money on it. I don't have to do that because I could change it right now if I wanted to. I leave it on there because it rides amazing. I mean, it's facts. And there's videos on YouTube of a guy on a fat tire kit, Road Glide, doing that slow cornering maneuvering like you see those police videos, you know, where they do the little training and the contests and stuff. He's doing it on a normal Road Glide with a fat tire. He's doing all that same stuff. So there's no loss in it. The only issue I had was in Sturgis. And this front tire, and it was because it was a cheap ass front tire that they put on there when they sent it to me. The whole center of this tire raised up, I'm going to say about an inch. It's separated from the sidewalls. And they've actually pulled that tire off of the market. But when you get hot cornering, which in Sturgis, it's hot, and I don't think there's a straight road out there. So we were day and day and day, every day, just hitting these corners. And we weren't even hitting them super hard. I mean, we don't ride like they're crotch rock. It's just normal riding, but they're heavy corners and it's hot. So they had an issue with that glue in there separating and that tire lifting up. There's God knows how long I rode on it that day. I didn't even notice it. I had some guy come up and tell me, he's like, hey man, your front tire, something's wrong with it. And we went out there and looked at it and I was like, oh shit. But when I called them, they were like, yeah, it's been happening quite a bit. So that was the only issue I've had with it. I absolutely love it. I'll be honest with you, if I didn't have all that money in that Street Glide, I'd do a fat tire kit on it as well. Straight up. If I had to do it again, I would do a fat tire kit on it. I say that, but I've also got some other wheels for the Street Glide coming. And they're not fat tires. But it's a company that I've wanted to work with for a long time. So that's a video that's going to be coming up real soon. But they don't do fat tire kits, so to answer your question, Sam, it's badass. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. Pretty basic, no speedometer, turn signals. Yeah, I mean, I figured as fast as I saw it from like, hey, I'm building one to, hey, my chopper's done and I'm in Daytona with it, that it was probably going to be a pretty basic chopper. I mean, you know. But I did see a picture of it. It does look pretty cool. Hey, James, I mean, we're real super low on merch, man. We don't really stock it. We do that pre-order over on the Facebook thing. So like the t-shirts and the hats and shit like that, we do like a couple of times a year. And really the only stuff that I ever have left over is people that backed out on their order. And that doesn't happen very often, but I swear to God, every time it happens, it's somebody that ordered smalls and 5Xs. So I get stuck with these goofy sizes that I can't get rid of hardly. So if you wear a small or a 5X, I could probably hook you up. Going to 120th Rally, yeah. So I actually just called. We called Jeff last night. The place it's already booked. The place where we're camping, but we're just trying to figure out dates last night on like when we were gonna leave and get there. So, 'cause I mean, Jeff's got a toy hauler. It's about as long as fucking Walmart. It's huge. And with the bikes in the back and a diesel pulling it, and it still took quite a while to get there. It's a long drive, and we don't want to rush it. You know what I mean? 48 foot, yeah. See, it's the size of a fucking Walmart. So, that's a big one. But you know, pulling that big of a toy hauler camper with all of us and all of our stuff, we took our time getting there. And still took, I don't know, what was it, Jeff? We just talked about that last night. Day and a half, almost 2 full days to get there from Southern Illinois. So, but yeah, we're going. Yeah, we'll definitely be there this year. I'd rather go to that one anytime than Daytona. I would like to get down to one of the rallies in Texas, and I think there's one in shit, where was that one we were just talking about? Bikes, Blues, and Barbecues. I'd like to go to that, but I think it's just it's like only for a weekend. So, hey, you're welcome, Will. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Jeff. Nice to see you, buddy. We got some. I got to do one of these at night. I try to do these like little kind of just like short ones here during the day, but it's been a long time since me and Mary did one at night in the evening. So I'm gonna try to keep doing these, but I'm gonna split it up between the two because a lot of guys are at work right now. You know, I mean, so fit between the motor and the better mid-frame air reflector. What size or what kind of bike are you working on with the mid-frame air deflector? (2020) Street Glide. So The mid-frame air deflector usually comes with, you're talking about the, like the, I guess, kind of octagon hole that you press that in. It kind of acts like a drywall anchor. Oh, so yours is, you are talking about that one and it spun on you. Yes. So when guys call the Advan Black line and they ask me about that, you know, they're getting ready to install them and they're just not quite sure how that thing works. And it does just work like a drywall anchor. But I tell them, honestly, I tell them to throw it in the trash. Don't do it because of what happened right there. So if you get that back pinched, if you get that pinch going and then it starts spinning on you, you're screwed. Like, you're going to have to pull the battery, get in there with just some channel locks, whatever you can get a hold of that thing with to get that bolt out. But it's best to go in through the battery side. That's the way I've done it because it's happened to me a couple times. That's why I don't use them. So I go get some stainless steel bolts and a flat washer, because you don't want a split washer, because the split washer will go into the plastic when you're tightening it down and crack the plastic. So get a flat washer, a stainless steel bolt, and a nylock nut, and replace that rib nut once you do get it out. Just put a bolt and a washer and a nut back on it. I don't use them. I won't. I've installed a few sets and I don't use them because of that exactly right there happened to me. And when that thing starts spinning, you're going to come up with some new cuss words. Oh, you work for S&S Cycle. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, the BBBs in Arkansas. Yeah, I definitely want to do that one. But like I said, I think it's only a weekend maybe, so that'd be a quick little cool little trip to do. Sturgis this year from Louisiana. Riding up there. Whew. Have fun. My old butt can't take that. You can, okay, so the fat tire upgrade on a 21. So they make a 21, a 23, a 26. They make several size fat tire kits. The problem is anything bigger than an 18, you have to rake your bike. It's not like the 21 on like a normal 21. So the 21 fat tire, you have to treat it like a 23 normal tire. So anything bigger than a 21 on a normal rim and tire, you have to rake. Anything bigger than an 18.55 on a fat tire, you have to rake. So it will fit. You just got to spend a little bit extra money on a rake kit. Probably just get a bolt-on rake kit. Save yourself a ton of money in cutting and welding and all that good stuff. They're making it so easy now to do with those rake kits, and they're good quality too. So I've never seen one break or hear of anybody having any issues with them. Elizabethtown, Kentucky used to have that. I didn't know that. So where's the, so no, yeah, that's Elizabethtown. Where's the Elizabethtown where the floating catfish restaurant is? That's up by Garden of the Gods, but I think that's the Illinois side. That's not Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Yes, that is all new age, and it's from that end of the garage all the way to the other end. It's like, I bought it as a set, but it's actually two sets put together. I like it. I mean, for the price, it's good. I did have some issues with shipping when they shipped it to me. I actually did a whole video on it. You can check out the videos when I did a garage upgrade, and I did the diamond plate on the walls, and I also did the new age cabinet. So as far as once you get it all put together and bolted to the wall, which I highly recommend that you do, like throw a couple lag bolts in the wall through it, but once you get it all put together, it's fine. The problem is when you buy a big kit like that, they like to put like all of these smaller cabinets, all those smaller cabinets, they like to jam in one of those, and they don't put enough packing around them, and while they're being shipped, they're just beating the hell out of your doors. So back over there, I've got two doors on one of the big ones that's got dents in it from the inside out. And then one of the cabinets on this rolling tool cart has a dent in it, a crease. I think that was it. I think there was three issues, three cabinets, and it took them five months to replace them. So, I mean, I eventually got them replaced. At first they told me that I was going to have to send those back. When they dropped off the new ones, I was going to have to, the lady told me on the phone I was going to have to pack these back up, and the driver was going to take them. And I asked her how I was going to pack these big ass cabinets. I don't have, saran wrap them to a pallet. What do you want me to do? Like, I don't work for you. You screwed this up. You do it, you know. And when the guy got here with the new cabinets after 5 months of waiting, he's like, sign here. And I was like, hold up. And I unpacked them all before he left and made sure that they weren't screwed up. And then I signed the thing, and off he went. But he didn't ask for none of this stuff back. So that's why these dented ones are still in here, because they were dropped off in my wife's garage, and then I ended up, I don't have the room for them in here, and I already had these bolted to the wall because it took so long to get them, that I just ended up sliding those new ones in my wife's garage and using them in there, and I just kept the dented ones out here. But other than that, they're good cabinets, man, and they're not very expensive. They hold a lot of stuff. The problem is going, like, I put all the stuff in them and then forgot where the hell everything was. So it took me like a month to remember where I put everything. And I still lose stuff. I'm like, I know I put them in this cabinet. No, I didn't. So that's the only problem when you get a lot of cabinets like that. But they are good. Google says a restaurant in Elizabethtown, Illinois, about 32 miles southeast of our location. Yeah, so, yeah, we ride, well, not as much as we'd like to, but in Elizabethtown, Illinois, there's a restaurant that's like built on a pontoon system, and it floats on the river, and it's pretty cool. And it's during the summertime, there's always motorcycles there, but they've actually added on to it a whole nother double-decker pontoon for just tables, because it grew so popular. And it's got all you can eat catfish for like $12. Fries and whatever you want. So it gets packed pretty easy, but it's really nice. It's a good ride. Plus it's up by Garden of the Gods. So when you get done with that, or maybe beforehand, you can go right around Garden of the Gods. That's pretty neat. Western Tennessee, good to see you. Yeah, so when I saw Elizabethtown, Kentucky, I was like, well, I know it's kind of close to Kentucky, but I didn't think it was in Kentucky. But yeah, I guess we're not too far from that. I mean, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes from Paducah, Kentucky. I mean, that's out of the way from that Elizabethtown, but still where we go in Kentucky. Yeah, I got a couple of half sisters that live over there. That's where my real dad lived over there before he passed away. I got some family still in Paducah. Try to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Oh. The other model, yeah, the Softails and shit, yeah. So, yeah, we had that Sportster S in here for a while. I've got it pushed up in my wife's garage here because we're going to be trading that in on something else. We ended up not doing anything with that bike, so, but it's sat in here for a year. And let me tell you something about that some of you may find interesting. It has nothing to do with the touring model, but that Sportster S, when it came out, we bought it, had 53 miles on it. And that all of those miles, we bought it brand new from Harley Davidson. All of those miles came from the staff and everybody else wanting to test ride the bike. 54 miles. I bought the bike because Advan Black was going to do a bunch of parts for it. We ended up just not doing anything with it. But when we decided exactly 1 year later, now they delivered the bike. I rode it from here down to this church down here, which is a half a mile and a half a mile back. Put 1 mile on the bike, parked it, sat right there, did a couple of little upgrades on it, crash bar, shit like that. Went to go trade it in. Exactly 1 year and 1 mile, it depreciated $5,000. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. $5,000, and it sat right there for a year, and I put 1 mile on it. Oh, I didn't even know that Sturgis video was still up there. Yeah, that whole thing freaking fell through. We got back from Sturgis, and I got so busy, and then it just got to the point where it was like, okay, Sturgis has been over for like a month and a half, so it's like not even relevant anymore. So we just didn't do it. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Though we're gonna do a nighttime. Uh, We're gonna do an evening live where it'll be me and Mary, like we did during COVID, and that'll kind of get some of the evening guys that may be at work now. So, oh, the trailer cameras. Yeah, sorry about that, Chuck. If you're still here, I did see that question go by and I forgot. So the trailer cameras that I use were just that they were backup. They were Bluetooth backup cameras from Amazon. So you get the one I bought. There's a million combinations that you can buy, but I didn't want a wire from my truck to my trailer, so I rolled the dice on a Bluetooth one, and it's okay. But you have to remember that you're just looking. I mean, you're just looking in the trailer, and it's just kind of to help monitor to make sure nothing's sliding around. And it actually saved my butt one time when I had my bike on a wheel chalk and had it strapped down. On the Street Glide, we used to have turn down pipes, custom made turn down pipes, and there's real sharp on the edges. And I had my strap going through my rear wheel, and it cut that strap in half. And I happened to look down at my camera, and my bike was like sideways in the trailer after hitting a bunch of potholes. So it kind of saved my butt. And for $60, you can't beat that. But the only problem I had with the Bluetooth kind was that, and it had night vision and all that. I left the lights completely off in that trailer. There's no windows in it. I mean, it is black, and you can see that bike plain as day. So the only problem I have is when you go through big cities, I guess just all the radio frequencies, microwaves, whatever, when you're going around a big city or through a big city, that Bluetooth system gets shaky and it'll cut off and come back on. And usually that's the worst part of the road because in the potholes everywhere. So I'm kind of freaking out, like, just show me the bike, just come on for a split second and show me the bike, make sure it's not laying on its side. But other than that, they work really good. I don't remember Jeff. He's got some on his toy hauler. Actually uses it for a backup camera too on the outside, but I can't remember if it's wired or Bluetooth. But yeah, they're just backup cameras. They're cheap backup cameras. I put the Bluetooth module in my back window, so it's still in the cab, but closest to the trailer as I can get it. And I just hang it around the like little hook in your back seat for like hanging clothes on. I just kind of wipe the wire around and just let it hang. And then the camera itself in the trailer, I mount it right up in the V nose and just shine it right down on the bike. And so there's only about 10 foot that it needs to go, and it says it'll go 100 feet. So like I said, the only problems you have is in the cities with Bluetooth, because you'll get a lot of interference. Am I a fan of the Street Road Glide ST with the 117? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You're getting a bigger motor, but they took a bunch of stuff off the bike, so I don't know. Yeah, if that's what you want, I mean, I'm not against it. I see the they're trying to kind of cater towards more of the performance bagger, and I get that. You get the bigger motor, and you know it's kind of a stripped down kind of version. There's no fender extension on the back, so it's kind of like the Ultra or Road King rear end. So I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you're wanting to do with it. It blows my mind that guys will buy the ST and then call me and they're like, hey, I want to put a fender extension on and I want to put saddlebags on it. And I'm like, why the hell did you buy the ST then? You know, so I don't know. It just depends on what you want to do with the bike. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them by any means. I just feel like you got some motor upgrade, but they took some stuff off the bike and they still cost way more. And I'm like, I don't know if that makes sense or not. Yeah. So I missed one. Oh, the locker system, Peter. Yeah, we just talked a lot about that. That is the new age system, and I don't even know if I can get the whole thing in, but it's the big one. I mean, it goes from there all the way down to the other end, and then it also comes with this big rolling tool cart too that actually like goes in that hole, but I usually keep it pulled out. I keep the rolling tool cart pulled out quite a bit because I use it as a work table. So, but it's easy just to slide it back in there too, and you can get it in like the wood top or the stainless steel top. I did stainless steel because I thought it looked cool, but it scratches super easy, and I'm always putting stuff on it. So I almost wish I would have did the wood top now. Yeah, we talked about the lift table, Dave. The lift table is a plus lift, and I've got a link to it in the description down below. Now that link will take you to the A plus lift on Amazon, but the thing of it is, and I forgot to mention this earlier, is you need to like look up the A plus company and call them and make sure that they can deliver to your area. A lot of these places, they come in on a diesel trailer, and it's just a like a pallet jack kind of deal and a Tommy gate, like a lift gate, and they back up in your driveway and drop it off. That's it. They ain't putting it in your garage. They're not installing it for you. They just drop it. So like where they dropped it up there was way up in front of the house, and then I still had to get it back here, and that thing is not light. So but yeah, just make sure there. And here's the thing. So I researched these tables. There's probably about 5 out there that all look identical, and I'm pretty sure they all are identical. They're just different names on them, and it's just a 1,500-pound XL. And like I said, I got the side tables so I can work on trikes and stuff, but it also I keep them on there because they make great tool bench, you just keep your tools right there on the lift. You're not constantly turning around. Everything's right there in front of you, so it works out good. But just make sure that they can deliver. Find the cheapest one that looks like that as a 1,500-pound hydraulic lift, and then find out if they deliver to residential and buy that one. And it'll be a great table. I guarantee all those tables are exactly the same. They're just white labeled. Road King Special Tank Dash. Yeah, Advan Black just came out with one. Or they're getting ready. The Tank Dash, they're getting ready to come out with. Oh no, Road King. Sorry. They just came out with a Road King tank cover, not the dash. Yes, I don't know. I don't know about the dash. I don't know. I don't even know if Advan Black's going to make one, a dash for that. And I don't know right off the top of my head either who makes one. And yeah, Nikki, definitely check out that biker bar. Once you put that biker bar on your bike, you forget it. You won't even look at the cameras. That thing, as long as your floor is solid. Now we still keep an eye on them. You know, when we stop, we'll get out and check them and stuff. But as long as your floor is strong, that thing ain't going anywhere. I appreciate that, Todd. Appreciate it, man. Advan Black attend Bike Fest in the Ozark. No, they have not. We've really, Advan Black is only, they set up in Arizona. They set up Sturgis and Bike Week Daytona, spring break Daytona, not the Biketoberfest. That's the only ones we've did really so far. And Eddie's down there now for that one. And we'll be at Sturgis this year. Eddie will be there, but we'll be there with him. Yeah, so Derek Weaver is one of them that's identical to this. I've got them all bookmarked on my computer, but there's like 5 or 6 that are all pretty well all the same. And the Derek Weaver one is a good one. It's a good lift. Carbon fiber inlay and custom part. Yeah, for the Road Kings, it's tough with your speedometer and stuff in there. I went through the same thing with the Softail, the Heritage, because I wanted the long dash. I didn't want an extension like everybody sells. I wanted a complete whole long dash. And I finally found one, but it took forever. Hey guys, I'll be right back. My phone is ringing, so stay tuned and just hang on just a second. Yeah, sorry about that. That was the wife. She forgot we were doing the live chat today. J&S jacks. No, I have no idea what happened to those. Yeah, you can run a tank cover with the stock. That bike that I just did the gauges on, that Street Glide that I did the Dakota Digital gauges on, he runs our tank cover and no stretch side covers. Yeah, so you can definitely run it without it. Front fender question. Street Glide, Road Glide, Electric Glide, all the years compatible. You change the front end. So yeah, the front end, as far as our front end goes, yeah, so they're all the same. The Electric Glides, I think, had a different size stock tire on them. I'm wanting to think that the Electric Glides, for some reason, had an 18 on the front, which was goofy to me because it's a bigger bike. But as far as the forks and stuff, everything's the same from 09 up. Nope, wait, 14 up. Sorry, 14 up is a 49 millimeter fork, so it'd be the same as far as the fender mounting goes. 14 and up is what you want to look for, or 09 and down, depending on what you have. Hopefully that's what you meant, Ken. Hopefully I got you. Yeah, when we were out at Sturgis last year, they said that the 120th this year was just going to be based off of the 100-year anniversary at Sturgis was just packed. So they are thinking that this year the 120th is just going it's going to be slam packed too. So I thought that last year that it was a lot of people and they were like, oh no, this ain't nothing, wait till the anniversary. And I'm like, oh shit. It's a good thing that Sturgis is spread out so far. Harley Davidson and actual Sturgis is separated by a good little distance. All of the riding that you have to do out there, because there's so many bikes. I mean, it's insane. Snow cold, not at Daytona. Yeah, we don't have snow here, but it cooled off. We had 70s the last couple of days, which is rare for this time of year. No snow though, but yeah, not in Daytona either. Yeah, we're not doing Daytona this year. We wanted to go, but my surgery screwed that all up, and then they ended up not doing the surgery anyway. So RK, um, on the dirty air system, do you have to upgrade front suspension? And if not, how big of a difference does it make? So if you're just running rear air, you don't have to do anything to the front suspension. You don't, I mean, you can leave it stock. If you're running front air, then of course the front suspension would be your fork. You'd have to open up your forks and put the pucks and stuff in. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't change anything. And honestly, if you guys watch my channel, like I ran dirty air for years in the rear only, and just last year did both bikes with front air, and we did the front air on the Road Glide right before we went to Sturgis, and absolutely loved it. It rode fantastic, and that's some of the craziest riding I've ever rode on as far as corners and hills, and it was perfect. And then so I sat here and wonder why it took me so long to change it. Yeah, the needles run is crazy. Um, Killer fun, but like when we went, there was a lot of bikes when we did needles that day. Matter of fact, it was during needles that this ulnar nerve got trapped on me. I felt it that day. I literally felt that thing pinch, and these two fingers went numb while we were riding. And I remember stopping and telling, like I was telling my Mary that I was like, I don't know what the hell happened, but something just funny just happened down here in my funny bone area, and now half my hand's numb. And that was during that ride. And I don't know if I don't know what the hell I was doing. You know how sometimes, and I've been riding since I was a little kid, but you know, sometimes you get a death grip on those handlebars, and you don't even know you're doing it until you let off. You know, there was a couple of times where I was like, damn, I don't know why I'm so, you know what I mean? I was more tense for Mary, because the corners out there, to me, I was having a blast. But with her on the back, and she had never rode anything like that before, and it was just, it was kind of tense for her. And I don't know if any of you, I'm sure a lot of you probably ride with your wife or girlfriend or whatever, you can tell when they get tense. They don't even have to say a word. You can tell when they are tense because it makes your cornering a lot different. They're not helping you corner. Some of the times they're fighting you. And I was more, I guess, tense for her because I knew she was tense and in some of the spots. So I think that's why I did it. I don't know. I don't usually do it, but I must have had a grip on that thing like freaking King Kong, and it popped and trapped that ulnar nerve on me. So that's what my surgery was supposed to be for, but they canceled it. Thanks for stopping in, G. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, we got. I'm gonna I'll wrap it up here. I'll talk about some of the stuff we got coming up on the channel. Oh shit, lost you guys there for a second. The stuff that's we do have some parts still coming in. I've got some parts here that I need to install, but we're still waiting on some wheels. So I'll have some new wheel videos coming up. Trying to remember what else. I've kind of slowed down on getting some parts. You know, we did that Dakota digital gauge video, but I wasn't even on my bike. That was a buddy of ours that he actually purchased those, and the videos that were on YouTube for the digital gauge installs were garbage, every one of them. No one did a complete install video. And so I thought that video would do really good, and it has. That video is skyrocketed in 2 days. And I kind of figured it would, just because the ones that are out there, they're no good. Yeah, I will, Ozarks. We'll definitely let you know. That's definitely a trip that we want to do. On the electric, on the ratchet, it was the Milwaukee M12 is the one you see in all the videos. Big Joe's asking about the ratchet. It's the Milwaukee M12, and the batteries and the charger. And I will tell you this, you can buy this just like it is, without any batteries or charger. I think it's like 120 bucks, but I'm telling you, man, if you work on your bikes, get one. This thing has been a lifesaver, and I've had it for a lot of years now, and it's taken a beating. I've dropped this thing so many damn times, rolled off of stuff, whatever, but it's taken a beating, and it's been a good one for the price. So the batteries and the battery charger, like my battery charger, I think the one I have, it just charges one. So I bought an extra battery charger because I have 4 batteries. So but you can buy this by itself, and the batteries by itself and battery charger by itself. Or you can usually wait till like Home Depot sells Milwaukee. So if you have a Home Depot around you, seriously, go out there during Father's Day. You're going to get a deal. Like she bought me this for years ago. And then I went back out there at Father's Day and found a whole kit for like $220. And you get the impact, couple saws and stuff with it, but I use them all the time because I'm always doing stuff around the house, so those come in super handy. But that's where you get the deals on them when you buy like a combo kit. But as far as buying it individually, Amazon's definitely the cheapest, and it's only by a few bucks, but it's cheaper than going to Home Depot and buying it. But that thing has been a lifesaver, hand saver. Headband black tour pack lid break at the latch. And so we had a couple that were doing that, but that's stopped, and I don't know. They had an issue with the. It wasn't the lid; it was the latch, and as far as I know, that they've got that lined out. So if it broke again, man, definitely let Advan Black know, dude. They'll take care of it. I'm the tech there, so I can't do any replacement parts or anything like that. But I remember having a few phone calls on the lids cracking around the latch, and they did something with the latch. Yeah, if Home Depot will price match it, definitely. I mean, either way. Yeah, all right, Wolf, it was good to see you. Thanks for coming in, man. So if they're just back to Rogue Glide Rider on that tour pack lid, if they're just replacing the lid and it keeps doing it, then ask them for, if they just send you another lid, it's just going to do it again. So I think it has a lot to do with the latch. I wouldn't. I'm not sure who you talked to, but I definitely wouldn't have paid. If it broke under warranty twice, and then it broke after the warranty, and it's broke 3 times, and there's definitely an issue. So I don't think it even being after the warranty, they should have made you paid. Like, I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to speak for them, but like I said, I don't have anything to do with that department, but I would definitely be hitting them back up on that if that's the case. Replace the latch, or replace something besides the lid, because like I said, 3 times they give you another lid. It's just, it's obvious it's going to do it again. Arkansas for spring fling. Yeah, there's a bunch of these little things that I'd love to go to. Torque wrenches. Yeah, so I have an inch pound and a foot pound torque wrench, and they're not anything special. They're not expensive ones. I can't even remember where I even bought them. Probably Home Depot or something. I don't know I'm sure, Jeff, you probably use the snap-ons because, you snap-on. Snap-on money, man. But yeah, the torque wrenches I use, they're not anything special, but they work. The only thing I would like to, and it may be I'm just not doing enough research on it, but like my inch pound torque wrench only goes down to 20 inches, or 20 inch pounds. So, and I know that's how all the cheap ones are. So if there's one out there that like goes, you know, lower than that, I need to find one. But the way I look at it is anything below 20 inch pounds is probably just tighten it down snug and maybe one little just for shits and giggles. So, you know what I mean? A lot of this stuff calls for like 11 to 17 inch pounds, and you're like, okay. You just tighten it down snug and you're done with it. Oh, yeah. So the two that I have in the cases that I use a lot, those are from Amazon. Yep, the inch pound and the foot pound are from Amazon. And I'll be honest with you, they're probably the exact same ones that are at Harbor Freight. They're probably just white labeled freaking torque wrenches. Um, I had to take a paint pen and fill in all the numbers because you can't read the damn numbers on them. I even looked at getting an electric one, or I mean a digital one, a battery operated one. I just haven't. Bug slide, bug slide's okay. I mean, it's not a miracle. It's a protectant. It's kind of, I don't know. I've used it a couple of times, and it's kind of a quick detailer protectant. It's got some wax in it, so the only thing that's what keeps bugs from sticking to the front end is any kind of protectant will do the same thing. Any kind of wax or, you know, I mean, it is what it is. It's a cool idea, and Harley sells it, and, you know, people see it and they're like, oh, bugs, you know, I can keep bugs off my front end. But honestly, if you put a good wax job on your bike like that, bugs wipe right off. So I don't use it. Um, any kind of put a good wax job on your bike. Here, I'll show you what I use. I'll just get it. So this P&S, actually dropped this one the other day, but this is Dream Maker and this is Bead Maker. And actually, we've found that mixing 1-to-4 ratio of the Dream Maker into the Bead Maker gives you about the same results. It's just kind of a silica based, it gives you that kind of wet shine look, but it's not wet, obviously. I mean, but it makes it pretty slick. So like I said, I mean, you use a good, and I just use this as a quick detailer. This stuff is actually designed to, like if you're washing your car, when it's done, right before you chamois it, spray this all over the wet car, and then chamois this with it. That's what it's kind of designed how to use, but I don't use it that way. I just use it, I keep it in the tour pack, and we just use it like a quick detailer. And I've used several of those different kinds. So bug slide's kind of in the same thing. So I don't even know the price of the bug slide. So I just kind of compare it to any kind of a quick detailer that's got some silica or wax in it, and it'll do the same. So it just depends on what you're buying it for. It's hard for me to say. If it's cheap enough, then if it's cheaper than this shit or some other shit that we use, then yeah, go for it, you know? There's nothing wrong with it. I have a hard time with when I see a product like that, it's just, I mean, it's obviously labeled to cater to motorcycles, you know, and guys will see it in Harley Davidson and they'll buy it, and then I'm just assuming it's probably more expensive than some other stuff. But if it's not, then, you know, use it. But I just hate seeing guys spend money on stuff that you can get the same result out of something cheaper, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. You know, just because it's catered to a motorcycle, I mean, it's the same stuff as any other quick detailer. I just don't want to see people get ripped off, you know. So Tecton does have a 10-inch pound. I think that's what this, yeah. So my ratchet wrench on Amazon's a Tecton. That thing is That thing's been pretty good. And it was cheap too, 25 bucks maybe. I need to get the small one. They make some pretty good tools. It's done me pretty good so far, and I've had a cheater pipe on that one. So, it didn't bust anything. But I don't have that snap-on budget, so we got to make do. Yeah, yeah. It's the same thing here. I mean, the bugs in the summertime, especially at night, man, when that sun goes down, forget it. But I'll tell you this, and I know it's not, I can't even do it every time. And I have a lift and all this detailing stuff here, and I still can't do it every time. But man, the quicker you get them off the bike, the better. Like if you get home and you've got 5 minutes that night to even just kind of soak them down with something and wipe off the majority of them, the easier it'll be next time you clean it. You know, I mean, I know that's not feasible for everybody to ride their bike and clean it immediately as soon as they get home. And I don't even do it sometimes, but the quicker you get them off, the better. And because bugs are acidic. And when they bust on your paint and you leave them on the paint and the plastic windshields, especially if you got kind of a cheaper windshield, it'll stain it. It'll stain the clear coat. It'll stain the paint. You know, that bug guts are nasty. So if you leave them on there and then you ride again in 100-degree weather, you're just cooking that acid straight into your clear coat. So we get a lot of black bikes in here to polish and stuff, and there's just some stuff you can't get out. And that a bug gut splatter, it's rough. Sometimes you can't buff those out. They just leave them on there too long. Yeah, sun just bakes them on. And you figure with a black bike or a darker colored bike in the sun, man, that paint gets hot. And you got them bug guts on there, it ain't no good. Yeah, Freedom makes a good shield. They make good windshields. I had bought the Street Glide windshields, a Clockworks, a small 6-inch. And I bought it right after I bought the bike, and we hadn't even really started the YouTube channel yet. I mean, I think we may have had 1 or 2 videos, and I bought that thing. And the only reason I bought it is because it was a store, like an indie shop had several of them on their wall, and they took them down, and they were selling them. So it was kind of used. It had been put on a few bikes just to test ride. And you couldn't tell it. I mean, it looked brand new. I got it for like a quarter of the price. So, and I loved it. I loved the way the windshield, and I got busted with some big rocks in that thing and didn't chip it, didn't scratch it, nothing. So I was a firm believer at that point. Yeah, hot wet towels and letting that stuff soak. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to get bugs off, because you just got to be careful with bugs, especially if they've been on there for a day or two. I see a lot of guys will come out here and they'll spray this, any kind of like stuff like this, or waterless wash, and they take that towel and you got a ton of bugs on there, and you start wiping and you're not flipping your towel or shaking the bugs out of your towel. Every time you wipe with the towel full of bugs, you're scratching your clear. So, and I see guys do it all the time, and then they're like, man, how do you keep your bike with no scratches in it? I'm like, well, clean it right, you know? When it's dusty, don't walk by and take your finger and go like that, because you just sanded your clear with the dirt on your finger. So yeah, so that we talked, I think, in the last live, we talked about the waterless wash that I use, and I've got a cabinet over there full of them because I've forgot mine a few times, and I've had to just go to Walmart and try to buy one just to get one real quick, just to get something off. And so I've tried just about all of them, and the one that works the best for me is the Killer Wax one. It's the Killer Wax waterless wash. It's called H2 No. And the reason why I like that one the best is because all those ones at Walmart and HD, they're really watered down. So when you spray it, the shit just runs. It doesn't stick to the paint or to the bugs. It just runs, and you gotta hurry up and wipe it. So there's no soak time or hang time is what I call it. Where the H2No is kind of thick, so it has really good hang time on it. So when you spray it on the bugs, it'll just sit there and soak into those bugs, and then you can go and wipe them off. Uh, so any kind of the waterless wash that just instantly starts running it when you spray it, to me it's no good. And I mean, unless you're just trying to get dust off. If you're just getting dust off, that's fine. But you can use a quick detailer for that, and it's much cheaper. But as far as a waterless wash, that bike is a 2015, and that Street Glide's a 14, and they've never seen water outside of an occasional, oh, I got caught in the rain. And those bikes have had tons of bugs all over them, and I just keep them clean like that. But I don't know. Cleaning is therapy to me, where other guys can't stand it. I can be completely pissed off about something and come out here and just start cleaning my bike, and it just gives my brain time to get off of whatever I'm mad at, and I don't know, it's just therapy to me. So I don't mind cleaning. Yeah, I mean, they say that, but they gotta have 30 seconds worth of hang time, or you gotta spray a lot on there so whatever runs off, you still got some on there. Advan gonna make a fairing for Road Kings. Nah, there's nothing on the table right now for a fairing for the Road Kings, not that I'm aware of. I know there's a few companies out there that do them though. I mean, I've seen, I, I seen, I think we were at Sturgis this last year, and we saw a chick go flying by us on a black and pink bike, and we got up to the rest area and we pulled in, and it was a Road King, and it looked like a Street Glide. She had a batwing fairing on the front of it, but it was, it's quick disconnect where your windshield goes. So it was kind of like the one I did on the freewheeler video that I did. We put a batwing fairing on it. Hey, don't worry, Toby. Man, you do what you gotta do, brother. You're good, buddy. So Jeff's bike is an older bike, and his son's is too. But like I said, they're mechanics, both of them. So they work on everything at home and then tell me about it later. So I would do videos on it, but they haven't asked me yet. So they just do all the work and then call me and tell me that they did it. So if I get some older bikes in here, I would. I just don't. There's not too many of them around here. Yeah, sorry, my ass. You ain't sorry. She's coming over tomorrow to work on those forks, though. Doing the air ride on his son's bike. We're going to try to figure those out tomorrow. But yeah, there's not too many of the older, like pre 09, 08 and older. Not too many of those around. Aftermarket light auxiliary kit to put on SGS, their video stick. No, I don't have one, and I need to make one. I don't have an auxiliary light install video. I just haven't had a bike in here that to put them on yet. If you're talking about like the The auxiliary lights, like the running lights that go next to the headlight? Or did you just buy some lights like for the crash bar or something like that? Oh, okay, yeah. So just like, yeah, the auxiliary lights. Yeah, I don't have a video on that. I'm sorry. Yeah, like on this one, we did the TAC 10 cannons from Ciro, but they just mount on the crash bar. And on the street light, I don't have them. I just have a headlight on it. I do need to do one. I haven't had a bike over here to do it. The best underglow lights. So that's really going to depend on your budget. We do a lot of the. So I'll be honest with you right now. This Road Glide back here has an Amazon kit on it. It was $56, something like that. It's been on there for shit, I don't know, 5 years. The Street Glide has the Ciro Shock and Awe kit on it, which is amazing because you can work it with your app and do all kinds of goofy stuff, but it's expensive. So to get the basic, when you buy the Ciro Shock and Awe kit, you get just enough lights to cover the motor, and then you have to buy the, like if you want to do the front wheel, you have to buy that, and if you want to do the underneath the saddlebags, you have to buy that. So it's like three stages. What I love about the Ciro Shock and Awe kit is that every light has a place, and every light has a wire that goes to that place, and not 28 feet past that place, and you got to wind it up and zip tie it and then stick it. So like the Amazon kits, they're not made for, they're a universal kit. So you end up with a huge wad of wires behind your side cover all zip tied off, but they work. So like I said, for your budget, you know, it just depends on your budget. You can, the kind that's on the street light, or if you go to a rally and you have accent lights put on at a rally, those are usually called, what they're called, tuxedo kits or tuxedo fits, because they will cut each wire to go from each piece, from piece to piece, so you don't have a ton of extra leftover. They basically build the kit on your bike. And XK Glows is like that too. The only thing, we're getting ready to do an XK Glow kit on the Softail when I get it done. The only things with that kit is everything is a daisy chain. So you have to start at one, like you start on the rear of the bike on one side, and you go wire to light, come out of that light, wire to the next light. It's just a big daisy chain. So you really have to spend the time up front figuring out where everything goes before you start putting it together. So that's XK Glow's got a bright kit, but that's the only thing. You got to really plan ahead of time on that one, and I'm still planning. So I got it out the other day and was looking at it and was like, but the Ciro Shock and Awe's cut to fit, and they got a diagram that shows you exactly where every light goes and every wire goes. As far as the Amazon kits goes, put them wherever you want. You got plenty of wire. You'll have so much wire left over. Yeah, and so if you do the Amazon kit, there's a ton of them on Amazon. I have to constantly change that link on my Amazon video because that particular Amazon kit will get real popular and it'll sell out and it won't be available. So basically this is what I look for. You don't have to buy the one that I linked. If you want to just do the engine back, any kit will work. You try to get the kit that has multiple size lights, like 2 12-inch, 2 8-inch, 2 6-inch, whatever. You don't want them all the same. Stay away from pods. Pods do not work on a bike worth of crap. Don't use those. Those are for full-wheel drives and stuff. If you want to do the front wheel and be different than everybody else that just does the engine back, because the front wheel is kind of a pain in the ass to do. But if you want to do the front wheel, make sure you buy a kit that has the 36-inch extensions in it. You'll see it when you look at the picture. You'll see all the lights. You'll see the box. You'll see like the pigtails. And then you'll see 2 like wire things zip tied together. And those are your extensions. And it'll say it in the description. But from the box behind your side cover has to come up and I run it under my tank. I come out through the neck. I go down the brake wires and into under the fender on both sides. But you have to have that 36-inch extension to reach that front wheel. So if you don't have that, if you get it, you can get the kit cheaper, but you usually don't get that front wheel. But I recommend doing the front wheel because the touring tank takes like 2 minutes to pull off. And the rest of it's just running the wire and zip tying it. All right, Ozarks, I appreciate you coming, man. Hey, Toby, just get a hold of me either through Facebook or my email. And once we make contact there, I'll just give you my number, and we'll make that way easier. I don't want to toss my number out on YouTube. Um, yeah, so as far as the placement goes, what Nikki was saying, screenshotting for placement, I'd say that my 2 or 3 videos that I've done on the LED lighting or the Amazon kits is really just placement, and because a lot of people just don't know where to put them. And the thing that I like when I do any LED kit, I don't care who it's from, I do not want to see the LEDs. That is the tackiest thing I've ever. It's an accent kit, so you really just want to see the glow from the light, right? I don't want to. I see people stick them because they got like 2 left over in the kit, and they're like, "Oh, I have to put these somewhere," and then they stick them, and then you just see the whole light strip. I don't like that. I want them hidden, tucked and hidden the best I can, and then you just want that glow off of the light to accent your different parts of your bike. That's the way I like it. I mean, I just see a lot of them where people just kind of slap them on, and it doesn't look good. It really just looks like you bought a cheap Amazon kit and put it on there. But you can make those cheap kits look really good. That one there's got it on there, and it's bright. So, and the other thing is with the Amazon kits, it is cheaper than, like that guy was talking. I saw a comment there on a company that offers a 25-year warranty. When you spend the money for the kits, you're going to get that warranty, right? And that's good. With the Amazon kits, you're not. I mean, it's an Amazon kit. You're going to pay $45, $55 for it, and like I tell everybody, plug every one of those lights into that box, touch it to your battery, and make sure everything comes on before you install it. It's the absolute worst to get all of those installed and that box is bad. That little module that turns them off and on and changes colors. If that does happen, the best way to handle that is to order another $55 kit, right? Same one, get it, swap the module out, put that module back in the box and tell them it didn't work and ship it back. Because if you don't, you're going to have to take all those lights back off, package it all back up, and ship it back. So that's the way I figured out how to handle that, because it happened. But yeah, for the $55, $60 ones, you ain't going to get much of a warranty. If you catch it right off the bat and it goes bad, 2 years down the line it goes bad, forget it. Trash it and buy another one. It was $50. So, you know, the more expensive kits, even Custom Dynamics has one. I mean, pretty much all the big LED companies have them, and they're more expensive, but you're going to get a better warranty. So there's a wiring. I forget how they did that. We did one a couple of years ago, but it seemed like Custom Dynamics had it. It was a plug and play adapter that you put in to the wire harness, and it will allow you to keep those on full time. Check Custom Dynamics for that. And if you can't, because there's so much stuff on Custom Dynamics website right now, you can't hardly find shit on there. Just call them. It's the best thing. Just call them up and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And I'm almost 99% positive they have an adapter for those passing lamps to stay on. There was a lot of requests on that. I know there's a way to wire it, but there's an easier way to do it. Yeah, if you just call Custom Dynamics, it's plug and play. I don't think so. I don't think Harley, I don't think that they just flash it where it stays on. Not that I'm aware of anyway. I mean, they might, but not that I know of. Yeah, yeah, Chris, that I went on there the other day looking for something. Oh, to run an Advan Black Tour Pack light on a 13 down, there's two things from Custom Dynamics that you have to buy and to make that work. And I couldn't find shit on that website. I was like, what? How do you even? I ended up calling them. There's no way that I could find anything on that website. They've got so much stuff that they need to restructure that entire website. Yeah, those single colored LED strips will work too. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's nothing to them. The little box that you get, like with the Amazon one, that one really is it's just to change colors. I mean, if you just want like a single color, absolutely. Get you 6 of those and stick them and wire them all together, ground one side and put one on the battery or one on the ignition wire. And when you turn the bike on, they come on. Or you can put them on a toggle switch too. So Mark, you did have your bike flash to where they stay on. Well, that's good information. Yeah, I mean, you can call Harley and do that, or go the Custom Dynamics route. I didn't know that. Oh, okay, so they use DDT. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that sucks about, like, we can't get DDTs. That's the Harley's uh, little computer that they use to get into your ECM, BCM. Two are live and there's still one dummy. 3 switch. Yeah. Evil Iron Customs. Check Evil Iron Customs, Chris. You're talking about like the auxiliary switches up near the ignition on each side. I'm hoping that's what you're asking. Yeah, yeah. Check Evil Iron Customs. Now I have their double switch on mine, on my Rogue Glide, just one on one side or a double on one side. But I'm pretty sure I mean, it's just a rocker switch, so they make them however you want them. After I put them on, I had a few people complain about them though and said that they had issues with them from Evil Iron, but mine's been perfect. I've never had an issue one out of it. So I don't know what happened there. But the one I got's been great. I mean, hell, that's any kind of electronics anymore. You're rolling the dice, man. You just never know if you're going to get something that works or not. That's why I say any of those light kits, before you spend all that time mounting all those lights, plug them all in, hook it to a battery, make sure everything comes on. Yeah, I love the front air ride. Jeff had his on for a long time before I put mine on. I don't know. It's kind of every time somebody would ask me, Why I hadn't done front air, I don't know. In my brain, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And I don't know why, but because if you plumb everything right, you won't have any issues. Like I said, we did that front air right on that road right back there right before Sturgis, and we rode the hell out of that thing in Sturgis. Not one single issue. It's different at first when you trying to get it where you think ride height is because you've never done it before, and it's just like doing the rear air. You got to find that sweet spot because you can definitely jack that thing way up or put it down way low. So. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. I probably do need to wrap this one up, guys. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done to the road glide. That's why she's up on the left, but none of it is, unfortunately, none of it's video worthy. It's just a bunch of little bitty stuff that I need to tighten up on that bike and get lined out. But I appreciate all you guys coming and checking us out. And like I said, we'll do an evening live. Hell, we may even do one this weekend or maybe next weekend. Probably next weekend because I'd like to kind of promote it so we make sure everybody knows about it. Yeah, I get a lot of that, Nikki. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, well, so like the gauge thing, you know, and it ended up being a great video. So, but the digital gauges when my buddy called me, he's like, "Hey, you want to do a video on that?" And I was like, yeah, all right, bring it over, we'll do it. So, but it ended up turning out being a really good video. Yeah, Patrick, get a hold of me, man, because there's a lot of times where I'm actually looking for certain bikes to do videos on because Advan Black may have a product or something, or I need a specific bike for a product that a company has sent me, or I just can't use it on my bike. So there's a lot of times where I'm constantly looking for a bike. So, I can't make any promises on anything, but it happens quite a bit. And the cool part is I put the part on your bike for free, and you get to keep the part, so it's a win-win for you, and we get a video out of it. So just get a hold of me on that. The ride height repeater will work with any air ride system on the market. It absolutely will because it goes on the rear shock, and it's just a pin connection, a slider pin. Oh, you're in Carbondale. Okay, well you're in Murfreesboro. Hell, you're right. Both of you are right down the road, man. So I'm in Marion, so you're just next town over, or should I say the next significant town over. Be careful in Carbondale, man. People over there getting shot and shit every day. Every time I turn on the news, that place, Carbondale's getting crazy. Which it's just rare for Southern Illinois. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you guys should get a hold of us. Like we got Blessing of the Bikes coming up. If you guys do that, get a hold of us. We don't do the. So the way I have everybody get a hold of me, if you can email me first, slhousden, SLHOUSDEN, slhousden@gmail.com. You can email me. You can go over to the Facebook group and hit me up over there on the Sick Bagger Facebook group, and then we'll exchange numbers from there. I don't have my phone number posted anywhere, so just get up with me that way first, and then if you're local like that, we'll just exchange numbers. And like I said, we got Blessing of the Bikes coming up, and what I was saying is we don't generally ride out with the big crew from Black Diamond Harley Davidson because it's just way too many bikes, and there's always a bunch of people on that. that don't ride or haven't rode enough. And so we just kind of stay away from that. We usually meet up somewhere, eat breakfast, and then head out for blessing of the bikes, and kind of try to keep that group kind of small. I mean, an older road clean. I don't remember, Jeff. I don't remember when it. I've got it posted on the Sick Bagger page. I shared the group thing, but I don't remember the date right offhand. But that's always a fun time, and especially now that they've moved blessing up a month. You know, when it was back, um, when it was a month prior, it was always cold and or raining and just nasty. And now that they've moved it up a month, it's a lot better weather. Usually starts out a little cool, but then it's like in the 70s by the time you're done. So it's like perfect riding weather. So yeah, so hey Chevy, if you got any questions that you want to just hit me up on one of the videos or email me, man. Like I'm more than happy to. I check my emails and check my comments every day. I will tell you this: there's been an issue for the last 2 days on YouTube, and I submitted a report this morning. Um, I'm not getting notifications for my comments. And I don't know what the hell's going on, but like I went to my digital gauge video this morning and there was like 15 comments that I did not get notified via email or via the YouTube um, app that we use when we make videos. So I submitted a report, but if you want to get a hold of me, the best thing to do is hit me up on email. My email is actually on the YouTube page too. If you just go to the About tab on my page, it'll say contact. It'll make you click a link to make sure you're not a robot, and it'll show you my email. So I'm not going to Ohio Bike Week this year. No, we did that a couple of years ago. It was pretty cool, but yeah, we didn't have any plans to do it this year. May 21st, blessing of the bikes. All right, yeah. Found those switches. Nice. Yeah, I thought for sure he had the triple switch, but yeah, that's where I got mine. Cool deal. I don't even know what the prices are on, but he's about the only ones that makes them. Yeah, the big group rides. We've did the big group rides before, and it's the same thing, man. You get a lot of, and I swear to God to you, every time there's the one right next to me is somebody that borrowed a bike or just hasn't rode or just bought the bike that day, and it's, oh my God, I hate to even say it, but by the time we get to the cross, I'm ready to clothesline them off the backside of their bike because they just ride like idiots, speeding up and slowing down, and right in the middle of a pack of bikes, just being a douche. And I swear they're right next to me every single time. So my blood pressure can't take that, and I don't want to go to jail, so we just try to stay out of those big groups, and we just ride with like people that we know, or at least keep the group small. Yeah, we don't ride that side by side shit. You got to leave me my lane. I want my entire lane, and I swear these guys will ride right up next to me like we've been riding together for 20 years, and I just want to kick them off their bike. Yeah, and that hill at the cross ain't no joke. Yeah, it's narrow and just a ton of bikes. So, and and that's the thing. You see it every year up there. Yeah, you see it every year up there. Somebody always gets hurt, and it's always, well, I won't say always. I've seen a couple of older gentlemen just kind of lose their footing on that hill and fall. Like last year, a guy broke his leg, but we've seen him. You just see him go off the edge of that road too many times, almost every single year. And it's usually somebody not paying attention or somebody jacking around, or both. So keep the group small, keep it safe. I mean, that's what we're going up there for. I don't want anybody to get hurt on the way or to from a blessing. What the hell would be the point, So we just try to kind of keep it small. So, but I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I gotta get myself back to work. Like I said, this is we're 2 hours and 30 minutes into this live, so Oop, lost you guys there for a second. All right, now I'm back on. I don't know what the hell just happened. But I'm going to wrap it up. And we'll see you in the next live or in the next video. You guys be safe out there, all right?